Hey guys, I just received my order from Hardcopy HQ and I'm so excited to share with you what we will be using for Spanish for my sophomore, and this is all from the Alveary. If you're unfamiliar, the Alveary is a comprehensive Charlotte Mason program that has content for kindergarten through high school. We are actually not members currently, but they sell certain subjects a la carte. So you can purchase Spanish through them. They have elementary, middle school, and high school options, and you can look at the sample that they have on their website to determine what you want to do. So my student did a year of homeschool charter school online Spanish last year, and based on her assignments and looking through the samples, we decided on level 3 for her. And I'm just going to show you what this curriculum looks like. And I had already started filming this in vertical and it looked awful, so I'm filming now in horizontal, and I'll go ahead and read you like kind of how this works. So it says this text contains lesson plans and written exercises for the Alveary's Level 3 Spanish lessons. The grammar exercises have been adapted from a brief Spanish grammar originally authored by M.A. de Vitis with additional guided literature content added by the Alveary. This book is a combination of the Spanish Level 3 lessons written to the student and notebook space to complete assignments. It works through the Level 3 grammar and literature lessons found in the Alveary's A Brief Spanish Grammar and Literature book. Corresponding teacher and student books for other Spanish levels 1 through 4 are also available. So these files are, this is the lesson plan and student notebook. This is for the student. And this is the lesson plans and teacher manual. This has all of the answers in it. And then this is A Brief Spanish Grammar and Literature. This is like a textbook. And so I don't remember if there was a sample of this on the website, so I'm going to be very conservative with what I show you here. But here is the table of contents. I'm going to zoom back in so that it is not blurry for you. So you can see you're starting with lesson 21, and there's a grammar lesson, and then there's reading, and there's a glossary in the back, and I'll just show you one of these lessons. So I believe it's written by a native speaker, and you can see here you have the verb conjugations. In the prior version of this, I was calling them declensions, which I think is the wrong thing, but that's what it seems like to me. So this is like your textbook. So if you took Spanish in high school or college and you had a textbook, this is probably what you saw. And then you have, so the student gets this is their textbook. Then you have the lesson plan and student notebook. So there is a sample of this on the Alveary website, so you definitely want to look at that. It is very generous. It is like 30 pages or something, which was honestly incredibly helpful in deciding which level to do, because I went in and I looked at the lessons and I thought about my students' current level. So I would definitely recommend that. And here you can see it has lessons at a glance, and it's got 30 minutes, and they're doing 5 per week. So you can obviously adjust that as you please. And this is all by term. And then you have, here is a first lesson. So it says you need these materials, which is the Brief Spanish Grammar and Literature book. And it says read this lesson. Then you can do a narration right here. Then below that, there is your lesson number 2, and it links to a quiz, which is awesome. Also, these are the type of links that are included in the Sabbath Mood Science, and I thought that they were going to potentially present an obstacle for my daughter, but actually she's able to use them and has no issues. So that will be the same deal here. Then you have write your vocabulary, and here is where you're writing your conjugations and your vocabulary. And you can see this is a very in-depth Spanish curriculum. So all of the lessons, I believe, follow the same format. And one thing that I really, really love about this curriculum, aside from how well organized it is and absolutely open and go it is you can see lesson number 5, you need this material, and guess what? We got those as well. So your student, if you're doing Alveary Spanish, is going to be reading a poem in this book. So let's see if it says which poem is in here. This is one of them. So this has bilingual poems in it. These are available on Amazon. I bought these all used. Our first poem is La Luna es Tuya. So let's see if we can find that. I'm surprised there's not a page number on here. Let me just see if I can quickly find it. And I'm guessing this is based on the vocabulary. The tree is older than you. I'm in the right book, right? Yes. And they have these all linked on their website so that you can make sure you're getting the right book. I am so surprised I have not been able to find this yet. I must have... Maybe there's an index in here. Yeah, there we go. All right. La Luna es Tuya, page 101. The very back of the book. Oh, duh, it says page 101 below that. See, look, I should look closer. It says page 101. Okay, so here's the poem that your student will practice reciting. Mira la luna es tuya, nadie te la puede quitar. La has atado con los besos de tu mano y con la alegre mirada de tu corazón. And then here's the translation of that. Look at the moon is yours. No one can take it away from you. You have drawn it to yourself with kisses blown from your hand and the joyful gaze of your heart. So that is adorable. So you do that book, The Tree is Older Than You. Then you also have this book, which is called Cuentos que contaban nuestras abuelas. So that is tales that were told to us from our grandparents, and it says Cuentos Populares Hispánicos. That means popular tales of like Hispanic people. And my daughter had looked at this. Here are other books by the same author. She looked at this and was like, oh, are these like fairy tales? And they are. So here's the contents. You have all of these different tales. And so the point of this book is, I believe your student will be reading these tales. And also, if you have read The Last Cuentista by, I don't remember what her name is, but it was a Brave Writer book like a couple years ago. I think she starts every cuento había una vez, which means once upon a time. And so there's really, you could do a tie-in with that literature if you're interested. I think that's also a Build Your Library book. But these are really short cuentos. So it's only, this one is like 2 pages, I think. So that's a shorter one. Then you have a longer one. And so what I really like about this curriculum is that it is using these very engaging texts, which obviously are, you know, somewhat for a younger audience. But if you have a student that's been raised or educated rather with the Charlotte Mason approach, or even probably any homeschooled child, but particularly Charlotte Mason, they're going to have a very strong background in these different fairy tales. And so that's probably going to help, as it does in English, having a stronger background in different narratives helps anchor students in learning new vocabulary. And so I would assume that when you're reading in Spanish, if you already have some ability to read, having a background in these stories will help you predict what the text means, along with the really great lesson plans and things you have here. So this is the second book that you're going to be using, and I don't know when you're using what, so you would have to look at the plans for that, but I went ahead and got all these because I don't want to be scrambling. And then this is Tales Our Abuelitas Told Us, which is a similar concept as this book. Oh, did I get the same book? I might have even gotten... This looks like this book just in English, so maybe that's what that is. but these all three are linked. Yeah, okay, so this is the English version. So whereas this book it's bilingual, it has the English and Spanish in it. Here you have the book in Spanish and in English so that the student could, sorry, I've got a bunch of water cups next to me. The student could go side by side to begin a story. Oh, this is not a story, just kidding. So here's these different, I wasn't reading this earlier, these different ways to start a story. So, había una vez, érase que se era, hace mucho tiempo, en la tierra de iras y no volverás, en un país muy lejano, en los tiempos de María Castaña, en tiempos de la abuela. So, this means once upon a very long time, in grandmother's time, in the times of Mary Chestnut. In Never Never Land, in a land where you will go, but from you will never return, a long time ago, and so it was, once upon a time. So you're getting basically the same, although this one has the Spanish and the English okay, so the story's only in English in this book, but here you have side by side. So you need, I guess, both of these books to have the story in Spanish and then the story in English. And this is all linked on their website. I'm just trying to show you guys like what you're in for if you do this. So that is that. Then we will take a short little look at the teacher manual, which is exactly the same as the student manual. So if you're printing this, make sure that you get your files straight because I almost printed two of the same thing. I also believe that there are recordings of native speakers. I don't know where because I haven't fully looked at this in depth, but there's all sorts of links and all sorts of things you get once you purchase this. It goes into Google Drive doc, so you can explore that further. But I believe I was reading that their foreign language programs are written and involve native speaker audio tracks. So anyway, as you can see, so this says students' thing will vary, but here you have the verb conjugation, and we'll look at the student book so we could do a side-by-side. So this is something I'm always looking for as a mom of 6 is the actual, answer key. And you could definitely have your student check for themselves. I do that a lot from middle school on for kids who are self-sufficient. And of course I check in and make sure that it's getting done properly. But anyway, this is the teacher guide. This is the student guide. And that's all I wanted to show you guys. I will, of course, give you an update with how it's going. While she did have her class online last year, there was a lot of asynchronous work. So I think it's going to be pretty similar for her. The main difference is that aside from doing these little Quizlets and things, this is written in a book, which is what I was looking for, was to have a class for her that is offline. Because, reasons. But I'm trying to fix this coil here. Anyway, so that is the Alveary Spanish level 3. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this little preview. I got my little coil messed up here. Please let me know if you have any questions below. And like I said, I will link to the website where they have the preview available, and then you can take a look around. There are 4 levels, so there's only one level after this. For high school, and it gives you guidance regarding grade levels and things like that. And it says if your students never had any Spanish, start with this level, stuff like that. They also have really interesting looking elementary level Spanish. That is something I'm definitely considering, but since we just started Latin with my 2nd grader and my 5th grader, I'm going to push thinking about that at least until this spring or for next year. But I was really excited when I found out about this. I found it by Google searching high school homeschool Spanish textbook, because everything I've seen is online, or like Rosetta Stone, where everything is on the computer and you're clicking, or Duolingo, where it's not really clear. There's retention or mastery of the language. So I thought, particularly when I saw the textbooks that are or the storybooks that are being used, this is a really great program. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more about high school or homeschool curriculum, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.